Hi everyone and welcome to my channel. I'm Alexis and I'm currently on a back-to-back sailing on Navigator of the Seas, and I thought it'd be the perfect time to share my honest and full review of this ship. In this video, I'm going to be sharing with you all the things that I love as well as all the things that I did not love. So let's just get into it. Navigator is a revamped ship and it has so many fun different things for you to do on board. With the revamping of the ship, they added the new lime and coconut theme to their pool deck. The lime and coconut bar and pool deck have vibrant colors like those greens and oranges and is really inviting for this Mexican Riviera itinerary. On deck 5, they now have the Playmakers arcade and bar, which is a big upgrade for me personally because I love sports and I like to have the option to watch sports somewhere, have that game day food, and so Playmakers was a great addition. They also added Hooked instead of Sabor. Sabor was the Mexican restaurant that now I think is only left on Harmony of the Seas. And instead of Sabor, they put in Hooked, which is the seafood restaurant. And if you've watched my other videos, you know that Hooked is one of my all-time favorite restaurants at sea. And so I love this addition. In the revamp, they redid the spa and gym on board. And I will say that this is such a downgrade. The gym is now super small and it's also on the opposite side of the spa, which is kind of really inconvenient. And the gym is so small, it's hard to find any equipment or any place to stretch, especially on those sea days. However, I did find on deck 4, there is a track that goes all the way around the ship. And although it's not a jogging track, it's still really nice because it's less crowded. And it leads you all the way to the helipad and all the way back to the back of the ship. And whenever the gym was too crowded or the top deck was too crowded with people on sea days, I found that coming to deck 4 and just going for a walk all the way around or even doing some exercises on the helipad was a game changer for me. I do like this size of ship. Navigator has everything, all the activities that you can want. It has the ice skating, the flow rider, but it's not too big or overwhelming. Especially on these 7 days, you feel like you really have enough time to get everything done that you want to do, and you get to know the ship pretty well. Overall, I give the ship a 4 out of 5 stars. Now let's get into dining and drinks. So since I am on a back-to-back sailing, our first sailing we decided to do just main dining, no specialty, and the second sailing we did ultimate dining. Now for both sailings we did do the ultimate drink package, the deluxe drink package, which has everything that we could want. And like I said before, it just makes sense for us. That way we don't have to worry if we want something or not, like coffees and waters. So the main dining on Navigator of the Seas, I was actually really disappointed on. I don't want to seem like I'm complaining, but it just seems like the service was slow. They couldn't remember our drinks that we ordered, or it took like 20 minutes just to get our first drink. And by the time we wanted another one, it was already too late. We were done with dinner. I thought our service staff was friendly. They weren't the fastest. And although the food was okay, I think the overall main dining experience for me on this cruise was okay. It could have been way better in all different areas. I found that our bar staff and service has been pretty good. I will say that Playmakers has given us the best and quickest and friendliest service on board when it comes to drinks. Now let's talk about the specialty dining. So on board Navigator, they have Hooked, which is a seafood restaurant, Chops, which is a steakhouse, Izumi, which is their Japanese restaurant, and they also have Jamie's Italian. They also have Johnny Rockets and Playmakers, which isn't an exclusive kind of restaurant, but nonetheless, it's still specialty. On our sailing, we've been able to try every single restaurant, and all of the food has been absolutely amazing. We've eaten in Izumi, and our sushi and sashimi was outstanding. We had Jamie's Italian for lunch, and that was really good pasta. We've also had Chops, which Our steaks are always cooked to perfection. And what I've actually been surprisingly impressed by was playmakers. So on our sailing, we do have a few sea days where there's sports playing, and my husband and I are sports lovers, and we love to watch football games and baseball games, and it's kind of nice to be able to go to playmakers and sit and order wings or burgers and nachos, and everything that we've ordered, which was pretty much the whole menu, has been really great. Playmakers also has this little box called the owner's box that you can rent out for a certain game, and we did this for the Dallas game, which we had a friend join us, and it was a lot of fun. It comes with drinks and some food, and you're kind of secluded, so it's not too noisy, but you're able to have that game day really cool experience. And so I have been really impressed with Playmakers. The staff there has been really great to us, and I know that we were on back-to-back sailings, so they've gotten to know us, but nonetheless, they're very friendly. We haven't got a chance to try Johnny Rockets because to us, it just doesn't really make sense to spend our money on a burger when we can have Hooked or Chops and get a burger from there. So all of the specialty dining on board Navigator is absolutely great, and what I love about this ship is Izumi and Chops in particular, as well as Jamie's, is they have a great view from the restaurant. You can see outside, and so I recommend booking your specialty restaurants at sundown. We have ordered room service a couple times on this cruise, and I will say that I am not impressed. The food was good for it being late night and I was hungry, but at the end of the day, for that extra cost, and it's not included in our dining package, I was disappointed in the food service. Overall, I give the food on board Navigator of the Seas a 4 out of 5. Now let's talk about entertainment. So I'm going to be completely honest with you. We have not done like any of the shows. The first sailing we did go to the Magician, and he was really good. And then I think that's about it. We went to the Comedian as well on the first sailing, which she was just okay. On the second sailing, we haven't gone to a single show. And although we love shows, it just hasn't been a thing in our itinerary for us. We're more just relaxing and having no schedule on this cruise. So I can't really say anything for the entertainment. I can say that the 2 production shows that they do have on board Navigator, we have already seen before, years and years ago. And so we just didn't really see a point to go see them again. I do, however, want to get into the party aspect of the entertainment on board. So they host things like the shush parties where you put on the headphones and they have different channels of music, and they have a family one and then a grown-up one, 18 plus. Let me just say that this is horrible. This is probably the worst shush party I have ever been on any ship. And I love hush parties. They're my favorite thing. I think they're so fun. But they do one, it's a family one at 6 p.m. Let's just say 6 p.m. And they play family-oriented songs. Then at 9 p.m. they have the adults only shush party, and they're playing the same songs. I'm sorry, but you can't play the same songs that you would play for a kid's party for an adult's party. It's just gonna kill the vibe. If you're playing the wobble, the cha-cha slide, the electric slide, any of those kinds of songs, I'm out. And I don't want to come off just complaining, but this is horrible. Your DJ needs to get it together. You can't just have a DJ that has a set list for kids and adult parties. Another thing I noticed was the transition into the nightclub was horrible as well. So they had hosted the adult shush party, and then directly after they transitioned to where it's the nightclub up in the Star Lounge. And right after the shush party was over, everyone took off their headphones and gave them back. And it took like 5 minutes to transition into like the club party mode, which completely killed the vibe. They turned all of the lights on and there was no music playing for about 5 minutes. And so I personally got up and left, and I noticed a lot of people did too. And so that kind of just killed the vibe for the adult nightclub. Overall, I'm going to give entertainment on board Navigator of the Seas a 2 out of 5. The itinerary right now for Navigator is sailing out of LA and it goes to Mexico. Sometimes it'll go to Catalina Island. And so for this itinerary, we did Ensenada, Cabo San Lucas, and then in our first sailing, we went to Puerto Vallarta, and then the second one, we did Mazatlan. And so they're all Mexican ports, which is, it's Mexico. Ensenada is always what it is. There's not much to do there. There's the town. Cabo San Lucas can be fun if you want to and relaxing if you want to. I will say that as much as I love Cabo San Lucas, it is a tender port, which I personally don't like. So on our first sailing, we did get off in Cabo, and then for this second sailing, we just stayed on board because I just feel like when I personally have to tender, it just takes it all out of you. My energy is kind of drained. You're sitting in a hot boat, and sometimes it takes a while to wait for the boat to come, and it's just kind of a mood killer. So keep that in mind that Cabo is a tender port. Puerto Vallarta is always fun. There's so much to do there. I really like coming to that port. Mazatlan, this was my first time going, and I was pretty impressed. I like to see the culture that was going on. And so the itinerary for Navigator of the Seas, I give a 3 out of 5. Overall, I really like coming on Navigator of the Seas. I think there's so many reasons why I have cruised on this certain ship so many times. I've taken this ship all around the world, transatlantic, and it just feels like home for me. I love all the activities that Navigator provides for us to do. I will say that after being on different ships, especially this last 2 years, I think coming back on Navigator, I've kind of realized that the shopping is kind of really disappointing. And I know it might just sound crazy because I'm coming off of Utopia of the Seas, which had the most amazing shopping. Coming onto Navigator, I was disappointed, and not that I'm trying to spend money or go shopping, but there's not much selection for anything if that's what you're wanting to do. However, there are so many bars and the restaurants are great on board. I love all the top decks. I like the vibrant colors that they added, but I really did not like the gym. That's probably my biggest setback. And I know that in my last review, I also complained about the gym. Maybe I'm just a gym girly and I love the gym, but it's kind of important when you want to have a place to work out on board and there's no place. Nonetheless, I love Navigator of the Seas and I recommend it to anyone who wants to try fun activities, go to new ports in Mexico, and who wants to sail out of LA. I will say that the port in LA is trash. It's basically just one big tent and it's not appealing to the eye. It's kind of chaotic whenever you show up. It's not a great port, but the cruise is. So overall, I give Navigator of the Seas a 4 out of 5. Navigator is currently sailing out of LA. Which port would you like to see Navigator go to next? Remember, if you found this video helpful or enjoyed it at all, please give it a thumbs up and don't forget to subscribe so you're always updated with all things cruising and travel. Don't forget to always seize the day, and I'll catch you in the next video.